The WNBA media didn't just doubt Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, they straight up dragged them. Power rankings dropped, and the disrespect is off the charts. No playoff hopes, really, even with vets, a new coach, and Clark going full beast mode. Let's talk about why the media's got this twisted, and how this underdog story might age like fine revenge. The season hasn't even started, and the WNBA media is already on their usual nonsense. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, no playoff hopes, they say. Too raw, they claim. Still a long way to go. Yeah, alright, because apparently grinding all off-season, building a deeper roster, and hiring a veteran head coach doesn't count for anything when you're wearing a Fever jersey. Let's get something straight, the disrespect is loud and it's intentional. But wait a damn minute. Now guys, you notice we're at 4-5 now. So the Fever are not at 4 or 5. And I'm trying to figure this out. I just don't see it. The Phoenix Mercury. Now, keep in mind, Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi are gone. They're gone. I mean, okay. While the Premier's team stayed the same over the off-season, the Phoenix Mercury, they're not even hiding it anymore. Articles, rankings, power lists, all painting the Indiana Fever as some throwaway team just there to fill the schedule. 6th place, behind Phoenix. You've got to be kidding. That same Mercury squad that lost practically everybody. Diana Taurasi retired, Brittany Griner bounced, and the team scrambled to slap together a roster like it's Fantasy League deadline day, but sure, they rank above Indiana. Brittany Griner's with the Atlanta Dream. They added Alyssa Thomas, okay. Satu Sabali, okay. Kalani Brown, Semi-Whitcomb. Course, Kaylee Copper is badass. Absolutely. Is the only remaining member of last year's core. They've got the Mercury at 4. Wow, okay. I mean, what? What? Seattle at number 5. Seattle. So Seattle, I'm not even going to read that. Who cares? This isn't even about basketball at this point. It's media clout chasing. You mention Caitlin Clark, your clicks go up, you bash her team, instant outrage. So, here comes the narrative machine. Fever's still a long way to go. Miss me with that. Let's actually look at what Indiana's front office did this off-season. They didn't sit around hoping Clark would carry them solo. They brought in experienced players like Natasha Howard and Dana Bonner, players who know what playoff basketball looks like. They added Sydney Colson, a respected vet and leader, to mentor this young core. They re-signed Kelsey Mitchell, one of the best guards in the league. They've got a former Rookie of the Year in Aaliyah Boston, and arguably the most impactful rookie in decades in Clark. And now they've got Stephanie White at the helm. She's not here for a rebuild, she's here to win. We gotta remember the Indiana Fever had made a massive upgrade in one place that we haven't talked about enough. Stephanie White, the actual basketball coach, is a huge upgrade over Christy Sides. I tend to believe the Fever would have had a better record last year if somebody else would have been coaching them. But hey, sure, the media says no chance. Guess experience, talent, and coaching are all irrelevant when you're wearing a jersey that doesn't say Liberty or Aces. Let's call it what it is. People are salty that the Fever didn't flop last year and are terrified they won't flop this year either. And let's be real about Clark for a second. She didn't just roll into the WNBA to post stats. She's in full war mode. Muscle mass up, rehabbed, sharpened, focused. The narrative that she's just a shooter has been dead for years. People just don't want to bury it. This is a complete player with a chip on her shoulder the size of Iowa. She's already out here practicing as the opponent's best player to help her college team prep. Who else is doing that? Name one rookie pulling up to simulate Juju Watkins in full-intensity scrimmages to make sure Iowa gets that win, and yet the same media downplays her impact like she's just Buzz. Buzz doesn't lead, Buzz doesn't mentor, Buzz doesn't elevate an entire program or pro franchise, but here's the part that's not being talked about enough. Indiana's chemistry is cooking. These players respect each other. They're locked in. And this roster, it's not random. It's crafted. It's built to give Clark weapons, spacing, and experienced hands to lean on. Natasha Howard's going to be a stabilizer. Dana Bonner brings that veteran mindset that the Fever lacked in key moments last season. Kelsey Mitchell has been that scorer, now she gets to feed off of Clark's playmaking instead of doing it all alone, and Aaliyah Boston, a post presence who can now operate with more freedom because defenses have to stretch to account for Caitlin's range. We're not talking potential here, we're talking firepower. The media wants to act like all of this is theoretical, like we haven't seen Clark torch elite defenses, lead underdog teams to the Final Four, and casually drop logo threes while carrying a broken leg if she had to. They're framing it like the Fever are still in 2022. They're not. This team isn't a lottery punchline anymore. It's a playoff problem. Yet here comes another lazy headline, no chance Fever make the playoffs. Oh really? You sure about that? Because that 6th place ranking might look cute in April, but let's see what that article looks like in July when Clark's averaging 21 and 8, Boston's locking down the paint, and Mitchell's raining jumpers with space she hasn't had in 3 years. Let's also address the elephant in the room, media bias. They don't want Clark to succeed. Not because she's not good, because she threatens the system. She brought more attention to the league in one season than some franchises have in a decade, and instead of embracing that momentum, parts of the media treat her like a problem that needs correcting. Every time the Fever wins a game, it's a fluke. Every time Clark has a quiet night, it's the beginning of her downfall. Every time a team beats Indiana, it's proof she was overhyped. It's exhausting and it's fake. These aren't just critiques, they're coordinated hits, because Clark doesn't play media games. She's not political, she's not trying to be the league's darling, she's trying to win, and for whatever reason that rubs some people the wrong way. The wildest part, the media still tries to act surprised when fans clap back. Why is Clark's fan base so defensive, they ask? Maybe because every single article is soaked in backhanded praise and subtle jabs. Maybe because half the WNBA media spent her rookie season trying to prove she wasn't special, only for her to break records, boost ratings, and nearly carry a team by herself. But now they've moved the goalpost. Now it's not about her Dame, it's about her team. Sure, she's great, but the Fever, no playoffs. Convenient. Let's be honest, if she were on the Liberty or the Aces, these same writers would be crowning her MVP in preseason, but since she's on the Fever, the narrative is slow down. You know what's not slowing down? Clark's work ethic. This woman isn't chilling on rookie hype, she's putting in real work, strength training, leadership development, studying film. She even practiced with her former college team to help simulate their toughest opponent. Who does that? That's leadership. That's focus. That's growth. And the media knows it. They just don't want to admit it. They want the Fever to fail, not because it's good analysis, because it fits their storyline. Clark can't elevate a team. Fever aren't built to win. They're still rebuilding. It's lazy. This isn't rebuilding. This is rising. And just like in college, Clark's not here to be liked. She's here to win. If the Fever sneak into the playoffs, and let's be real, it won't be a sneak if it happens. It's going to be because Clark set the tone. Boston held the paint, Mitchell lit it up, and the vets brought that glue. This team has the pieces, and the fact that media experts keep acting like that's not the case tells you everything about what they're really trying to push. But fans see it, real ones know. Clark's not just selling tickets, she's rewriting expectations, and if that threatens the WNBA's old media guard, good. Here's the part that WNBA media outlets pretend not to understand. This Indiana Fever team isn't just young, they're dangerous. This is what happens when people build narratives based on last season's record instead of this season's potential. Let's talk roster again, because clearly the experts missed the memo. Aaliyah Boston, the reigning Rookie of the Year, is no longer a rookie. She's been in the trenches, she's adjusted to the pro game, and now she's about to be even more lethal with a point guard that doesn't just get her the ball, but gets her the right ball. Last year she was the go-to, the safety valve, the only dependable offensive option at times. This year she's got backup. She doesn't need to carry the offense, she just needs to own her zone. And Caitlin Clark, her presence alone shifts every defensive scheme. You can't double Boston anymore. You can't key in on Mitchell anymore, because if you leave Clark, you're getting a 3 in your eye before your coach can blink. Kelsey Mitchell, who was already dropping 18 per game, is about to feast. She's now got the greenest light of her career, and she'll actually have space to work without being hounded by 2 defenders every possession. Then you've got Christy Wallace, Nalissa Smith, and Victoria Vivians, who all bring different strengths, shooting, rebounding, perimeter defense, and the bench depth, better than it's been in years. Not elite, but definitely not a liability anymore. And still the media says, no chance. Okay, now let's look at the coaching. Stephanie White is not some first-year roll-the-dice coach. She's been around this league. She's coached at the pro and college level. She's not here for moral victories. She was hired to flip the switch from development to execution. She knows exactly what kind of weapon Clark is. She's not going to misuse her like some confused rookie coach trying to make her a pass-first PG. She's going to let her cook. Clark's best attribute, aside from her shooting, is her vision. She's going to be orchestrating plays, dragging defenders out 30 feet, and feeding cutters with dimes. Indiana is about to be way more fluid on offense. Expect high pick and rolls, fast pace, spacing galore. The Fever were bottom tier in offensive rating last year. This year, you'll see the flip. Yet the rankings have Phoenix ahead of them. You know, the same Phoenix Mercury who lost Taurasi, shipped off Griner, and threw together a free agent fantasy draft with no chemistry, no core identity, and zero direction. But the media has them top 5 because nostalgia, vibes. The Aces are still top 3 somehow even after their roster took a hit, and their shot at a three-peat evaporated. Meanwhile, Indiana, who added depth, star power and leadership, is still being talked about like they're an afterthought. Make it make sense. Here's the truth. A lot of these rankings aren't about basketball, they're about protecting the old guard. The media's been riding with the same few teams and players for years. They don't want a new face of the league. They definitely don't want that face to be a 22-year-old rookie who doesn't play by their script. That's why they keep calling her polarizing. That's why every Fever move gets hit with a but. Let's not overhype disclaimer. That's why the term project keeps getting thrown around when they talk about Indiana. It's manufactured caution, and it's wearing thin, because the truth is, the Fever aren't just playoff contenders, they're this year's disruptor team. They're the ones nobody wants to play come August. They've got a floor general in Clark, an inside anchor in Boston, a pure scorer in Mitchell, and a supporting cast with just enough edge to punch above their weight. This team is built for chaos, built for upsets, built to make you question every preseason, take you lazily through into an article for clicks. And you know what's even funnier? The same media outlets that are bashing this roster now will be the first ones tweeting, "Wow, what a turnaround," when the Fever hit a winning streak. They'll pretend they weren't the ones laughing at the playoff conversation 2 months earlier. They'll act shocked like they didn't spend all off-season discrediting the work this squad put in, because they want the storyline, not the truth. But this team, they're not waiting for approval. They're writing their own story, and it's not going to be polite. Let's also talk about locker room culture, something you never hear in these rankings. That matters a lot. Indiana has bought into Clark from day one. There's no weird ego drama, no turf wars, no cryptic tweets or side-eye interviews. The veterans respect her, the young players are locked in, and the coaching staff knows exactly what they have. This isn't just a basketball team, it's a movement, and that movement is catching fire whether the media likes it or not. We've already seen the results. Preseason tickets selling out, national broadcasts multiplying, jerseys flying off shelves. The Fever have gone from an afterthought to a main stage act, and still these analysts keep looking down their noses like Indiana's lucky just to exist. They don't get it, because Caitlin Clark didn't come to the WNBA to learn the ropes. She came to break them. Every game this season she's going to be targeted. Every matchup, she'll be the focus, and she's ready. She's been in this role for years already, getting hacked, getting double-teamed, getting chirped at, and still dropping 30, and now she's got better teammates, better coaches, and better training. Good luck stopping that. The media says no chance, but real ones know. This is exactly the kind of setup where Clark thrives. Doubt her, she torches you. Disrespect her team, they band together and overperform. Underestimate her, that's your first L. By mid-season you'll see the narrative shift. They'll start calling it a surprise run. They'll say the Fever are finally figuring it out. But you'll know better. You'll know they were always built for this. This isn't about hope, it's about readiness. This roster isn't perfect. They've still got work to do. The bench is a little thin. The front court rotation needs refining. But don't confuse developing with non-threatening. The pieces are there. The mindset is there. And Clark, she's the catalyst. And the league knows it. You can feel it. That's why the pushback has been so loud. That's why every article sounds like a warning label, because deep down they know what's coming. They know Indiana could be the league's biggest problem by season's end. They know Clark could be dragging this team into the playoffs by sheer force of will and smiling while doing it. They just don't want to admit it yet. But here's the thing. She doesn't need their approval. The Fever don't need their rankings. This team is playing with house money, and the receipts are being printed game by game. So go ahead, WNBA media. Keep doubting. Keep ranking Indiana 6th. Keep calling Clark overexposed while secretly praying she keeps boosting your viewership. Just don't be shocked when she proves you wrong again. The media can throw all the shade they want. Caitlin Clark and the Fever are built for the smoke, whether they like it or not. This squad's gunning for a playoff spot with receipts in hand.